Get a copy. So welcome to the More Listings Mastermind. My name is Robert Weichelt. Quick sound check. Haylie, Ryan, how do I sound, brothers and sisters?
You sound great.
Sound amazing as always.
Oh my God, I love you. I seriously, I'll send you that money that I promised you for saying that. So what we do every week, every Wednesday, 1 p.m., I coach, train, and mentor agents all over the country. And my only goal is to help people take more listings, agents take more listings. Because when you take more listings present themselves. For example, I had a listing that's going on right now, and I'll share that with you today. The offers are due tonight at 7. I think we're at 15 offers so far, which is pretty awesome. We're going to share that, and we're going to dive into, we have Haylie and Ryan from Ticor Title. They're going to share what they're seeing in the industry. They're out there every single day. They're doing the hard work. They're working with the agents. They're talking to listing agents every day, all day. So we're going to share some tools, not specific tools, proprietary tools, but more what they're seeing in terms of what listing agents are doing. We're going to share what they're doing to help agents like yourself take more listings. So with that said, I'm going to dive right into it. A good friend of mine, I've known Ryan Lipsey. I've known his family. My father and his father were friends, so we've known each other a long time. And we've worked together a long time. Haylie's no different. We're friends with her mother. We've seen her grow up into
Get away from us.
Super proud of both of you. The professionalism that you've provided me and my team over the years is just unparalleled. I mean, it's unmatched. It just doesn't happen. So with that said, I'm going to dive into a ladies first. I'm a big ladies first because I know my wife on the other side of the computer would probably yell at me if I went any other direction. So Haylie, tell everybody on the call who's Haylie Collier. Give us a quick update, and then we'll dive into what you do for Ticor.
Oh, you cut out right when you said tell everybody on the call, and then it froze for just a second.
No problem. Tell everybody who's Haylie Collier.
Oh, okay. So who am I? Well, I am a kind, caring individual. We really care about our clients, and I've been in the real estate industry now 11 years. I kind of, like Robert was saying, I kind of got dragged into it. Did not think I was going to get into real estate when I was going to college. And my mom kind of was like, well, the title company I work with is actually hiring. And I was like, title? What the hell is title? But I was learning a lot about it in my real estate courses I was taking just to have as a real estate license. And so got into real estate and love it. And we really enjoy helping our partners, helping, you, Robert, put on amazing classes at our office. That's where we get a lot of our fulfillment and our joy from what we do, is by really partnering with our agents and helping them build teams, build classes, and build success and revenue for them and their families.
Amen. When we were just there, we've been there multiple times. Carla and I like to do live events. I don't know. It's just a good way to get out there and press the flesh, if you will, get to talk to the folks and really do some groundwork. And your office is amazing. It's just been a real pleasure to go there. It's a great spot, really easy to get to. And you guys have been so accommodating. So thank you for that, Haylie. Ryan, let's tell the audience, who's Ryan Lipsey, man?
I'm still trying to figure that out all the way, Robert. But Ryan Lipsey in real estate, I've been doing it since 2001 for various title companies. I am blessed to be Haylie's partner and team lead and do this together. She's a beast, by the way. She'll never say it. She's awesome. But like she said, the culture here is really empowering the real estate entrepreneur to bring more revenue into their business through outreach and through prospecting. Exactly what we're here to do today, via data and strategies that we see working. We have the benefit of working across California with the top teams, top brokerages, to really get a sense of the pulse of the market and what's actually moving the needle in terms of generating more listing opportunities. So that's what we help our agents do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And that is what it's all about. I think if you don't align yourself with the right title team, I think you're missing out. So let's dive into that, Ryan. Let's tell the folks that are on this call, because again, it's a More Listings Mastermind. You can certainly help agents with buyers and that kind of thing. But let's specifically go into some of the tools that you're providing, that you're able to provide listing agents or agents that want to get into listing more properties. What are some of the tools that Ticor, and more specifically the Lipsey team, is providing agents to take more listings?
Well, it's all about us, and we're in training to do just that. So what would you like to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, before we get into like the tactics and something, we were just at a class listening to some top listing agents, and one of them pulled out a statistic, which I was like, wow, that is pretty shocking. In 2021, a great year in real estate, we had over $7 million homes transacted through the entire United States. In 2024, I'm sure Robert knows this number exactly, but it was like 3.2 million homes that transacted. That is less than half of what we had in 2021. So our goal, and we have been in an anemic listing market for quite a while. The inventory is starting to finally creep back up, which is great. But that's our whole goal, is to help our clients with the strategies Ryan's going to get into of how do we create more listings, because it was, as we all know, if we were here in 2021, it was a bloodbath. I mean, buyers were giving up their first child, they were giving up their blood type, everything that they could to get into a home. And now we're not seeing that as much. So we're trying to really cultivate helping our agents get more listings, because when you have the listings, you have the leverage.
That's right. And
Amen
so,
to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you want a bunch of buyers, get a listing, right? So we help focus specifically on tactics, because we don't want to stay in theory, because theory doesn't get us anywhere. Action is cause and effect. Action has reaction. So we take action in 4 primary categories, and you have 4 legs on a table. Why? To make it the most stable it can be. So it is starting with relationship selling, or your past client database, your sphere of influence. The shortest distance between you and a listing is through somebody you already know that you're crossed the trust barrier with. So tactically, how do we approach them from a new direction? Obviously, you want them on drips. You want to hit them on your social media, communications. But we have direct texting to your sphere of influence, one of which has had 1 out of 11 texts causes a referral or a listing or seller engagement. That one is utilizing Zillow's information. If you open up your client's property on Zillow, there's a little link that says historical value and analysis. That link will show you a bar graph like this for you guys of how much it has appreciated since they bought the home. You screenshot that. So you're using Zillow's information against them, okay? Big bad Zillow. And without sending the links, and text that to 10 of your past clients or people in your life. And that is the one leading to 1 out of 11 is leading to a listing referral or a listing engagement.
Yeah, and the text reads something like, and we'll share with Robert what the text exactly says, but it says something along the lines of like, wow, can you believe it? When you purchased your home in this year, it was at this value, and now it's currently here. Zillow thinks that your estimated value is this. I think they're wrong. What do you think? And sending that as a text or an email. We even have people that have been sending it like as a letter with the CMA or with a comparative marketing analysis and showing.
Oh man, frozen.
They question and they're like, Ryan, this says that we're at like 1.2. I think that's way off. We have a better pool than the last comp. We redid our kitchen, da, da, da. And it's like, oh, well, I'm better when I'm prepared. I'd love to come see your property because those numbers are always a little off. So why are we talking numbers? Are we thinking about selling? I'd love to come over and check out Tuesday or Wednesday.
We close on the appointment with that. And this text, there's another one called the bad timing text, another one called the comparison text. I will send you all of these. Just Robert can put my email and Haylie's email or our cell phones in the chat. Or if you want to get a hold of us, go through Robert. But these texts, because look, it's right now information. And so many of our agents struggle with, what do I send them? What's the right recipe? What's the right item of value? What's the right network or newsletter? Mm-hmm. And this is value on their home is always going to get looked at, especially via text, because these are people in your world that will receive your text and actually look at it. It's compelling value for them, and it's moving the needle big time. And then obviously gives you an opportunity for the 10 people you texted yesterday to follow up with a phone call and see how they've been doing. There's no substitute for voice-to-voice, guys, with catching up on how the kids are doing, what spring break's been like for them, and connect on a human level. But the texting to the sphere of influence had led to the most listings out of anything else.
Well, and for a lot of you guys on here that have worked with a lot of buyers previously, this is a great way to engage with those buyers and say like, hey, because we know that buyers are going to become sellers, and or they know somebody in their world that's looking to buy another property or sell a property. This really engages that. So whether you just sold them their home 2 months ago, still send it, because things change every single month. And then like Ryan says, you send this text, you get them engaged on where their current value is at, and then you throw them in a drip campaign where every single month, either like a home bot or a home wise or something that's showing them a market analysis on their property every single month. So now your text or your mailer that you sent to them with the value hits differently every single month, because now they're going to get you again monthly, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, Natasha sent me that really cool screenshot about the value of my house. I wonder what it's at now. And then they get the email and it's like, oh, that's where we're at. So it always goes back to what you previously said, which is a great way to remain top of mind with them.
The second, oh, you're on mute, Robert.
Thank you. So you know what's interesting, what you say about that is so many of us get a Facebook post. I just bought a house. I'm so excited. And you're like, that's the first time I'm hearing that my brother bought a house, or my friend or my family or somebody that know, loves, and trusts me, but they don't think about us every day. So dripping on them is super important, because if you don't work your database, somebody else is.
That's right.
Yeah, well, we hear this a lot. This is one of the biggest mistakes with agents, is that the words, oh, they know what I do.
Oh, that's a killer. They know what I do. They'll call me when they need me. No, they won't. Life is busy. They'll call who's right in front of them.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. So going back to the sphere of influence, your circle of influence, people that know, love, and trust you, that's so huge. And that's something you can help these agents. And we put your information in the chat box. So feel free to reach out to Ryan. I'm telling you, these guys are top notch. They'll help you. Again, they work with top agents, top listing agents across the basically Southern California, all through California too, as well. Right, Ryan?
Yeah. Yep. Well, and throughout California, I would say the second warmest water for listings is circle prospecting for open houses, just listed, just sold, coming soon. We can help you with acquire the data to do the emailing and the calling and the postcards. The third would be distressed sellers, so divorce, bankruptcy, probate. And the fourth would be utilizing that data to get into relationship with divorce attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, probate attorneys. 4 pillars is that really what we're preaching.
And we've seen the circle process. So next to the sphere of influence being like the hot, like think of it as we are in the jacuzzi, we are in the hot tub with our sphere of influence. They want to talk to us, hang out with us. And then moving into like, you know, like bath water, like a little bit warmer, but not like super cold yet.
Like the part of the pool where the hot one is going
into part of the pool where the jacuzzi falls into it. We're like right there now. So first, jacuzzi, hot water, closest relationships. Next is circle prospecting. We have gotten so much success, especially within the past few months, because now that rates have started to come down a little bit, the people that are in the 2.5 going to a 5 isn't as hard as a 2.5 to a 7. So right now, the circle prospecting, when people are calling, and you guys, it doesn't have to be iStats. If you don't have listing stats in the area that you want to target, it can be we stats, or hey, when you call your neighbors, hey, did you know that your neighbor's home down the street sold at X amount, and it looks like the last home was at this value. So it looks like, congratulations, you have more equity in your home. And if you've had any thoughts of selling, only one buyer was able to win on this property. So we had more buyers looking in this area if you've had any thoughts. Now, that would be just the call, like calling, and we can do circle prospecting around a just sold, around an open houses.
Getting people into your open house, getting neighbors in, potential sellers and buyers, huge for them.
And it's just about telling the story. We're not trying to sell on the phone. We're trying to tell the story of the situation. So for an open house, we help our agents. We have a whole protocol to get people into the open house, get more people, because most agents we talk to, they're like, I put my signs up Saturday, like half hung over. I don't know if it's going to the right place. I don't know where it's at. And so we help our agents come up with a strategy with getting something on the doors. So inviting the neighbors, doing an email blast of that same flyer to the neighbors, just inviting them to the open house, doing a voicemail blast after that flyer comes out.
We have the vendors for all this.
Yes.
We can't do it for you, but we show you how to do it very easy.
Yes, very easy to do. We can show this how to do it. And it's not a lot. It sounds like a lot of work, but when you break it down day by day, it's really not that much. Door knocking gets you in front of people. That's your highest and best use of your time. The email blast, using technology as leverage and doing one outgoing message. MailChimp, CRMs work really well. KV Core with EXP is really good with mail blast, so you can utilize that. The voicemail blast is flybroadcast.com. That is one outgoing message where you upload the list of cell phones and it goes out to all of those same people. So now it's, hey, this is Jennifer. I'm just making sure you received our information about our open house this weekend. We're so excited about this because we always like to invite the neighbors to give you an opportunity of choosing who your new neighbor is going to be. So if you have friends or family that love this area like you do, come on by Saturday and Sunday. We're there from 10 to 2. And you know what? Only one buyer is going to be able to win on this one too. So if you've had any thoughts of selling or any questions about the real estate market, come on by. I'd love to chat with you. We're going to have coffee and donuts there at the open house. So that's how the slide broadcast works. And then the calls behind it, see, that goes to those same people. And then we call behind it.
Well,
and now
the call is that a cold call? If I have emailed blasted you, voicemail blasted you, and left something on your door, I don't think that's a cold call anymore.
Definitely not a cold call. Now I'm following up. And let me tell you guys, I can make follow-up calls all day.
Who wants to make some follow-up calls? Who wants to make those follow-up calls? I do. Come on, give me the lead sheet, baby. I want to follow up.
And that's the same cadence. It's the same standard operating procedure for the open house, for the just listed, and the just sold. So it's really nice to have a standard operating procedure of being able to just say, okay, I got the mailers out or I door knocked. All right, next day I'm getting the email blast out. Next day we're doing the voicemail blast.
And I want to just highlight something she said. I'm telling the story of how I helped the Collier family move from El Cajon to Idaho, right? Because why do I tell stories, Robert? It's because the person listening can insert themselves into the story and then they can become real for them. Well, oh my gosh, if she was able to get over asking in less time with less heartache than the person thought it would be, and have a win and a victory in that family's life, in their real estate, maybe he can do that for me too. And that's why we tell the story of the family that you helped and make it about the person, the human side of it, instead of, I just sold another one, I'm the shit, and I'm a big, because all they hear is, this guy made a ton of commission, and he wants my money too, and we out, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, but if you make it about the people that you help, like if I have buyers for a certain condo complex, call the condo complex and say, hey, I'm calling on behalf of the Colliers. They are young professionals looking to get a dog and a baby, and they want to buy in your complex. Have you considered selling? I'm not going to stop until I find them a unit. That's why I'm reaching out to you today. It's less about me, the agent, and I don't have as much commission breath. It's really about the people I'm serving.
Well, and another little psychological hack with what he just said, I'll make calls for my client. If I know if this client is really needing something, I will make calls for my client. But guess when I won't make calls? When it's about me. When I'm looking for a new deal.
I got like things to pick up. All of a sudden, I got to reorganize that cabinet over there, right?
But
who else?
But if it's my client and they're like gripping, they're like, we need to sell or we need to buy, damn right I can make calls for them because they hired me to work on their behalf. Yeah. So that's a really good little psychological hack behind that. It's like, I'm not calling for me. I'm calling for the Lipsey family. I'm calling for the Weichelt family to make sure that they get the home of their dreams. And this could be their home. Your home is exactly what they're looking for, but it could, it could be the next person I call. So if you've had any thoughts of selling, I'm not stopping until I find the Lipsey's a home, and it could be yours.
So if you're working with buyers, that could be the ammunition you need to create your own listing from your buyer needs. Take the neighborhoods they want to buy in, call all of them, and tell them about the buyer you have. Somebody's going to be like, well, we've been thinking about selling. You really got a buyer? Let's look at this.
I love that.
Well, and just to put I was just going to say real quick, Robert, just to put a story onto it, because we tell stories. We just sat with a brand new agent, Marissa Santos. She's brand new, and she's gotten 2 off-market listings by calling buildings that she wanted to work in. And she got 1 off market, and they said, you know what? Yeah, we actually do want to sell, but we don't want to put it on the market. She said, cool. She started calling around all the neighbors, telling the story of how she has this property that's not on market, but if there's anybody looking to buy, she got another off market. They said, oh, so you're listing that one not on market? And they were like, we don't want to go to market either, but we want to sell. And so she got 2 off-market listings just by circle prospecting a condo complex.
And now she's working like all get out to find buyers for them.
Yes.
So, and which is going to give her other opportunities. And see how it starts feeding on itself when you do this prospecting thing? It's magical, you guys.
Well, there's certainly a lot to unpack there. First of all, thank you for your time. You guys are absolutely amazing. It's a good thing we recorded this because that was rapid fire, which I appreciate. And we can certainly surmise that into a quick bullet point presentation for the agents that are on the call. So what do we want to close with in terms of what are some of the things that you feel like you want to mention before you guys jump off to your, I know you got a 1:30 you got to get to, but what are some of the things that you'd like to tell the agents on the call in terms of getting more listings? Haylie, let's start with you.
For me, just pick up the phone and make the calls. Just do it. Like, do it scared, do it afraid. You will do it with fear of success, with fear of rejection, with fear of failure. Because when you push through that and you start getting into the calls and you start getting to call number 10, you're like, oh, now you're on fire. Then you start to get the energy. And just like what Robert was saying, when we prospect, I'm standing up. Like, he'll see me. I'm like pacing around the room. I'm like on the phone.
She's like a lion.
And we're standing up and we're making the call and we're bringing that energy on the phone. So just bring the energy, be the one. You can't call and be like, hey, are you looking to buy or sell real estate in your area today? Like, no, that doesn't work anymore. We have to
If you don't believe it, how are they going to believe it?
Amen.
Right? You can't transmit what you don't possess. What I would end with, Robert, before you even ask the question is, if it doesn't show up in your calendar, it doesn't happen. So if you don't time block for prospecting, start small, you guys. Give 30 minutes on Tuesday, 30 minutes on Wednesday, 30 minutes on Friday or Thursday, because Mondays are Mondays and Fridays are like, let's go. Right? And if it's a slow and an open house, call people. But start with 30 minutes 3 times a week, and you will expand from there to 90 minutes 3 times a week. Because I'm telling you, the phone is an ATM machine. Very few of your competitors, other agents, are on the phones, okay? So just by utilizing the phone, you're separating yourself. But make sure you time block for it, guys, because life is crazy busy if we let it be. But if we take our calendar back, we can tell our time where to go instead of wondering where it went.
No, you guys are...
Jennifer, I think you had a question.
Yeah, I was just going to open it up for questions before we say goodbye to Haylie and Ryan. Let's open it up for any questions that we have for either one of them. Go ahead. And Jen, I think you had a question. Do you want to ask them?
I did. So I got my first buyer agent. I'm a lender and a realtor, but I got my first buyer loan, real estate transaction. It's closing. I just got the clear to close actually while we were on the phone. So that's pretty exciting. It's a probate sell. Sales price is $755. Appraisal came in at $780. Obviously, I didn't let the agent know what the value came in at. So we have built-in equity. So I was going to start doing the 10, 10, 20 door knocking around it. My question to you is how I'm sorry, I've got ADHD and I'm like squirrel. Because you said something earlier, I raised my hand, I had a question, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot it. Because that was so much information, and so I'm glad you're recording this, Robert. But how would I what is it? Circle, what'd you call it? Circle
Prospect.
That one. First
You
syllable
email
sounds
us.
like
I'd love to spend a phone call with you and go in detail, but essentially we help you get the data you need. We can help you with the scripting to do the voicemail blast, the email blast, and then make the live calls behind it to tell of this success story of how you got a buyer into that neighborhood. And I would also, by the way, follow up with the probate attorney. The listing agent may not. Since you've done a deal with that person, that's grounds to create more further rapport and a relationship, because probate attorneys can send you a lot of listings.
I love it.
That was like our 4th vertical of the pillar that we didn't even get to, but B2B, divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, you start developing those relationships. Those are people that can send you to 5 plus deals a year. Those are whales. Those are huge accounts for you to start leveraging.
Yep. I think
I
go
put
ahead.
my phone number in there, and I'm going to put my email in there. If you can just email me and let's set up some sort of a meeting, that would be great if you don't mind.
Ryan's email, Ryan and Haley's emails in the chat. Why don't you copy it and send it?
Oh, I got that. I got that. Okay, perfect.
If you
Thank
email
you.
us, we have a little recipe for circle prospecting. If you email us, if you guys all email us with questions, we'd really love to help each and every one of you. It's just and do an independent consult, whether it's a Zoom or a coffee or what have you.
And if you're in Arizona, I saw somebody AZ pop up. We can definitely jump on a Zoom and go over the protocols, and we can get you with the Ryans of Haylie in Arizona. So
perfect. I was just going to mention that I saw that. Great question, Jen, by the way. And if you're sticking around, we'll do a quick mortgage minute because we haven't done that. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Did you guys pick up on the energy they're throwing down? You guys, if for nothing else, energy. I almost want to see Haylie start prospecting again because when she jumped up and started prospecting, that was just
we have to go in separate rooms. We're on the phone because I get loud, he gets loud. We both get excited.
We're sweating. We're starting to sweat.
Like look at me and be like, Haylie, down, like you're yelling on the phone, and I'm like, sorry, I'm excited.
Cell phone streamers, baby. Cell phone streamers.
Well, you know what I tell you.
We believe in the product.
Yeah, you certainly do. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for sharing your tools. I encourage you all to reach out to Haylie and Ryan. Their emails are in the chat box. Carla, thank you, my bride. Put those in the chat box.
Carla. We love you,
We'll
Carla.
send you the text. Those texts, you guys, are magical texts. Send them. Robert, you send them to all your past clients. I'm telling you, it moves the needle big time. People raise their hands like crazy. Okay.
Amen.
Thank you guys. We were really honored to be here.
Yeah. So thank you guys for jumping on.
I'm out of here.
Oh, did you have a question for them real quick?
Okay. If she leaves, lock this door. Okay.
Okay. So
Bye.
let's go ahead and mute that, whoever that is.
All right. Thank you guys so
much. You guys
much.
are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having us on, Robert. We love you, Carla. Bye, guys.
See you guys. Don't go anywhere. We have some more stuff to cover. But talk to me about the energy that those guys were dropping on us. Do you feel that when you have that kind of energy, that's why I always start off all my calls every single Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I start off with whatever it takes because it fires me up. I even have the wristband because I'm truly involved and truly, committed to that because I want to, when we're prospecting sellers for sale by owner, expireds, pre-foreclosure, there's a lot of negativity that comes with those phone calls or those text messages, less with text, more with calls. But when you reach out, there's that negativity meter that's kind of off the charts. And our goal is to drop that negativity meter and bring it down like a normal conversation. Sometimes when you get beat up a little bit, it's hard to keep that momentum going. It's a numbers game. We need to track and measure our numbers. We need to make sure that we're keeping track of the days we're committing to work, the amount of calls we're committed to making, how much time we're going to commit to it. Ryan talked about a very important thing, and I hope you picked it up, time blocking. If it's not on your calendar, it is very difficult to make sure it happens. It literally, I have wake up on my calendar because that's the first thing I need to do every single day. And think about that for a second. Well, that's just kind of given, is it? I have wake up and I have go to bed on my calendar. And everything in between is sectioned depending on if I'm doing coaching, training, or mentoring my agents. I'm meeting with vendors to grow business, or I'm meeting with my sellers. I meet with my sellers usually in the afternoons. So we need to time block around what works for you. Keeping in mind, there's income producing tasks that only can happen during the day. I really don't think it's a good idea to reach out to a seller at 2 a.m. But if you're up late at night and you feel like you need to get some work done, you can get in and do the social media stuff. You can do the stuff that doesn't require timing. But you need to prospect during the time that people are awake, time when they're most available. I typically prospect from 3 to 5 every day because that's what works for my schedule. I prospect every day from 3 to 5 with the goal of filling my 5 to 7 calendar. I prospect with purpose. I prospect for the appointment. I don't prospect to close that seller in that call. I don't transition like, oh, I've got a good one. Let me try to wheel him in. I prospect to fill my calendar, because you wouldn't prospect and somebody says, I want to sell my house. Great, I'll be right there. No, you're going to do some research on the home. You're going to prepare for that home. And a lot of you that are on this call know that I don't even go to homes. I do all of my listing appointments via Zoom. And a lot of people think, well, that's crazy. How could you do that? I need to be there in person. No, you don't. I've been doing on Zoom listing appointments since 2020, when that thing called the pandemic came upon. We need to come up with a better way. So the first time I actually started doing it was when we were in Cabo. We're doing listing appointments from Cabo, from the beach in Cabo. So those are the things that we need to do. We need to be efficient and effective with our prospecting. Number one, we need to put it on our calendar. Number two, we need to understand who it is we're reaching out to. FSBO, I like them the best. If I called nobody, you got to call the FSBO. They have their hands up. They're, hey, look at me. I want to sell my home. Expired have already proven that they were interested in selling, but more than likely price got in their way. The agent more than likely took an overpriced listing and the expectations of the sellers were not met. Being the second agent to an expired is fantastic, because now before they wanted to sell, now they need to sell. That's a different thing. So if you can have the right scripts, my mentor told me this a long time ago, Bob Mangold, your words matter. Your words matter. So if we're saying the right things to the FSBO, we're going to have a great conversation and ultimately get that listing, if that listing's a viable listing. Now, what I don't want, and I get this a lot, I have two different types of listing appointments. The first listing appointment that we're on, it's all done via Zoom. I prospect, I schedule the appointment, boom, we get on. I get on the Zoom call with the seller. We go to their Zillow profile, because that's what most all sellers are very familiar with, their Zillow profile, especially FSBOs. And we talk about price. If we cannot come to terms with the price, for example, let's say a seller says, I want $1 million for my home. And because you're the expert in your area, no, it's only worth 800. Well, we got a little bit more to talk about before we even go on. Let's talk about the price first. So the first appointment I have is a 3 to 5 listing appointment. 3 to 5 minutes is all it's going to take to get to the point where that seller is realistic and ready to rock and roll. Now, if it's a $1 million sales price that seller wants and it's worth $950, that's a different story. As long as they're realistic, we can continue the conversation. But if they dig their heels in at something that's too high, that's the definition of insanity for an expired, for example. They obviously were on the market for 6 months. That's a normal turn time is 6 months. Didn't get their price. They're always telling you about how the agent didn't get any offers. It didn't open house traffic. Well, no kidding, because it was too high. So if the sellers dig their heels in, you simply move on and go to the next. But you need to reach out to every single seller, every single FSBO, every single expired, every single pre-foreclosure. Pay attention to the pre-foreclosure market as it relates to your market in particularly. You'll see a lot of notice of defaults coming up, right, Lawrence? You've seen it all the time. Kathy, you see it. You and I do a lot of training on the default space. So there's a lot of pre-foreclosure stuff going on. I know there's a few of you on this call that really are looking to get into the REO space. If you're looking to get into REO, make sure that you're reaching out to the pre-foreclosures. Build that foundation. Have a conversation with the notice of default. Now, they're not as motivated to sell as the notice of trustee folks. The notice of trustee sales, those are the sellers that are staring down the barrel of a foreclosure. We need to help them. We need to reach out to them, but not this way. Hey, you're behind in your payments. We need to sell your home. 99.999% of the sellers in the default space all want to keep their home. A very small percentage of those can or able to. We want to make sure that we're reaching out, coming from contribution. We want to make sure that we're saying, listen, you have options. You want to keep your home? Fantastic. I want to help you do that. Because if you walk them through the options, now, real quick disclosure, I'm not offering legal advice and I'm not charging a penny for my services. What I'm doing is I'm taking it upon myself because I feel it's my fiduciary responsibility to my community to reach out to these folks that are having struggles and give them the options. Oftentimes, you just call the lender and saying, hey, I'm behind on my payments. What are my options? Option 1 is pay it in full. Option 2, let's defer it. Option 3, and so on. But the sellers need to pull their head out of the sand so they can actually understand what their options are. And I just guide them. Now, when they have that situation where I just can't right this ship, I can't pull out a second to get caught up, I can't do any of this, we either sell it or we're going to get foreclosed on. Then who do they think they come back to? They come back to me because I was guiding them through the process. Kathy, let's go to you. You got a quick question. I'm sure it's about the default space.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment about it. If you approach them with compassion and understanding that they're going through in a very emotional period of time, they're losing their home where their kids were raised, where, their first home, their move up home, whatever it is, there's some huge emotional attachment to that.
Yeah.
And when I approach them, I don't even talk about selling their home. It's not an option. Right now, that's not an option. Let's see what we can do to keep you in your home right now. And that will open up doors more in the conversation, and there'll be more. You come to them as their advocate. I'm going to help you, and let's see what we can do. We're not going to talk about selling your home right now. And that's the conversation I have when the notice of default is filed. When the notice of sale is filed, that's a different conversation. And I will go to them with a cash offer and let them know you're not going to lose equity by selling less because you need a fast sale, which all these other investors want to do. But you're going to become a partner with this cash plus offer that I have for you.
Amen. And we'll certainly dive into the cash offer situation. I know Kathy is one of our coaches. She coaches on cash offers. She has her own mastermind. Kathy, go ahead and put your information in the chat box so people can jump on. I think it's Tuesdays at 10
a.m.
10 o'clock. So Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. Kathy's fantastic with the cash offers. And here's the deal, guys. And Kathy will be the first to tell you this. Cash offers are a fantastic conversation starter. But I did a study on the last 72 listings that I've taken over the last year and a half. Not one of them went with the cash offer I provided, but a handful of those would have ended the conversation should I've not brought at least something to the table. So it gets you in the conversation. So you need to have a cash offers platform. That's super important. So Kathy will be more than happy to share with her all the coaching she does in the cash offer space. I tell you what, it's there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Kathy, thank you so much. Anything else to add before we move on?
I don't.
Cool. Lawrence King, are you kidding me? There he is. That's another one of our coaches. Lawrence King was our guest, a couple of weeks ago. And Kathy, we're certainly going to have you on our cash offers, our more listings mastermind. Lawrence King, tell us, what are you seeing in the listing space that might help the folks that are tuning in today?
Listing spaces. Well, we're seeing a lot more sellers get more realistic on their price point. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
they're starting to see it's starting to become stagnant. We're seeing more properties sit on the market, and actually, more sellers are being open to the live offers platform.
Sure. Oh yeah, and I've
started to understand it a lot more now. It's starting to make sense.
Yeah. And why are you bringing that up, Lawrence? I'm gonna bring up. I have one going today. Speaking of cash offers,
check it out.
And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with everybody. Just give me a second. I'm gonna show you one that I have going on literally as we speak. Can you guys see the screen? Okay. Check this out. This is an online offers platform that I use that is absolutely killer. Here's the property on Dueling. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So you guys can follow along at home or later on down the road. That's fine. This ends tonight at 7. We have 15 offers. Check it out. We started down here, and the buyers get a chance to place their offers through the platform. And you can see Rogelio, Tom, then Adam, and Sahif. Oh, look at that. Adam came back. Got a bidding war now, right? Well, then there's Eric, who I don't know why they always do this, but they always seem to outbid themselves at least every once a property. And so before I could get with Eric, Tom came in, placed an offer, then Edgar, then here comes Adam again. You see what the transparent offers platform can do to arrive the highest and best sales price. So my point is, this is literally in live time. As the offers come in, and usually they come in, well, I've got 5. See if you can see it right here. I've got 5 hours left. Those offers are due tonight. Can you see that? And Kathy, remember our Christmas party where we had 3 properties going at the same time? We had it 3 screens on the big screen, and we were watching all the offers that are just coming in, and it kept extending, and it was the most exhilarating thing I've ever seen. We're going to go up to this seller's home and watch the bids come in towards the end. This home is it's right there. The seller's goal price has already been met. But is there any seller on the planet that doesn't want more money? Have you ever had a seller say, no, you know what? Get me the least amount of money. That'd be great. You know what? While you're at it, charge me the most amount of money. No, they don't say that either, because we allow the buyers to pay for their own agent. How cool is that? Because especially in today's commission environment, the seller doesn't want to pay for the agent that their only job is to compete against our seller. So we show them that the buyer is paying for the agent should they choose to have an agent, and we bake it into the purchase price for a full final price of, in this case, if it was to end right now, the purchase contract would be written for $831,300. Does that make sense? So that was a nice segue, Lawrence, into to the cash offers.
Yeah, Robert. And probably I understand it, but most sellers don't understand that these are vetted buyers, right?
Fully vetted, pre-approved buyers. Right. And it's funny because that is a question that agents often ask. And I sometimes I'll turn it around on them saying, well, did you get a chance to place your offer before you sent me proof of funds and pre-approval? No, nor does anyone else. But it says it right here in the terms and conditions. It's about a 1-minute read that buyers can place their offer anytime after the open house, and the sellers receive proof of funds and pre-approval, and they email it to me, the listing agent. And these are not just send me a pre-qual. I actually call the lender, verify the information. We get proof of funds. I don't care if you're not paying cash. Proof of funds for down payment and closing costs are important as well. I don't know how many of you had a transaction fall out because the buyer's gift funds didn't come through. We need to verify those things. So everything we do here, and it says right here, your account will be activated once the proof of funds and pre-approvals received. So it's just a fantastic thing. So thanks for bringing that up. We can certainly dive into this more, but that's not what this call's for. This call was to get Haylie and Ryan on, talk about some really killer ideas. Anything else, Lawrence, you want to add?
No. I just think this is a fantastic system that you've been training on every single week, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go to a quick Q&A. Who's got questions? Who's got things that they'd like to go over? It's all about more listings, whether it be working with the FSBOs, the expireds, the canceleds. I've got something I can go through with you guys real quick. Give me 1 second why those questions add up, because we want to ask. This is a Q&A time of the day. More listings. Let's go right here. And I think the biggest thing, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a second. Give me 1 second. I'll share that. I wanted to pull up the right one here. And there we go, right here. Boom, there it is. So here's the lowest hanging fruit on the seller tree. We talked about this. We talked about who's the lowest hanging fruit. We talked about FSBOs. Ryan and Haylie talked about likely to moves. reach out to them. They'll be able to walk you through that. I like FSBOs and expireds personally. FSBOs, expireds, canceled, of course. Expireds when the contract expires, canceled when the contract's canceled before it expires. Then you have the NOD, NOT. Those are the default folks. That's really where I would start. But you want to have at least 3 to 5 niches, in my opinion, for taking listings. We talked about probate and divorce. There's a lot of that stuff going on. And then that just doesn't seem to go away. And you get an attorney, for example, you're going to get multiple transactions per year. I have about 10 attorneys I work with, and most all of them do the old here's 3 names kind of thing, which I get. I'm cool with that, but I always seem to be right up there in the conversation, because that's what we need. We need to be in the conversation. As long as we're putting ourselves in the conversation, it's up to you to have your presentation skills dialed in. Now, I can certainly help. I coach, train, and mentor agents all over the country, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. But you need, in my opinion, you got to work with the lowest hanging fruit first. And FSBO, expireds, and pre-foreclosures are that space. Probate and divorce. If you get an attorney, like I said, they're going to send you multiple transactions. They're not just going to send you one. If you do a great job, they're going to send you multiple transactions. Now, if they send you one and they don't send you any more, you might not have done a great job for them. So I would really be concerned with that. But don't forget about your community. Be the mayor of your community. Now, I know I talk to some agents, they don't want to deal with working people in their neighborhood and that kind of thing. I'm like, why? There's nothing worse than pulling out your driveway, getting ready to leave your community, and you see a for sale sign from another company. That stings. And guess whose fault that is?
I think that was the biggest mistake I made.
Right here. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest mistake I made when I first got into business, is not farming my own area.
It's
Huge
because,
mistake.
and a lot of times we don't reach out to our circle of influence and our community because we feel like we're begging. We're like, oh, I'm not successful, so now I'm begging for business. Heck no, man. You are a professional realtor, and it's their job to get the best available, and that is you. So I would recommend that, obviously, FSBOs, expireds, and pre-foreclosure. I would certainly recommend you don't forget about your database. If you forget about your database, somebody else is going to talk to your database, and you're going to get that proverbial post on Facebook. I just bought a house from one of your relatives. It's not fun. We don't want to do that. And being a mayor of your community, do community events. Carla and I do a lot of community coffees. We're going up to Simple Coffee in our neighborhood. We're there anyway. We're there with our dog. And we go on next door and say, hey, we're all meeting for coffee. Come up and let's chat. Let's get to know our neighbors, especially if you're moving into a new neighborhood. Kathy, go ahead. You had a question.
Well, Sarah has a question. What would you say the key part of success in connecting with attorneys for more listings is if you're able to break through and get in front of them, take them to coffee is a good way. And tell them or show them your value, the different ways you have to sell a home. You got online offers, you got cash offers. You need to, just like any seller, the attorneys, you need to show that you have different ways to sell their home.
Amen.
And the same with probates. And the big thing with probates is they may need to be updated. They may need to be cleaned up, and you have an avenue for that. You have a remedy for that. Either through Curbio, free model, or a cash plus with repairs cash offer.
Look at Kathy dropping some knowledge on us with cash offers. I'm telling you guys, she knows cash offers better than anybody I've met. She's my go-to. So Kathy, thank you. And we're definitely going to have you on in the next week or so.
Okay.
Next or few episodes, I want to get you on and get you talking about the cash offer solution. And this is just great. This is what it's all about. This is a mastermind. It's all about listings. I want to take more listings. I'm not saying I don't want to work buyers. Don't get me wrong, but I find when I focus on listings, the buyers come. Guess who comes to your open houses? Kathy, why don't you share with us your open house? Actually, let me share the photo. Look at this. This is Kathy Ryan's open house, guys. Look at the people at that open house. Are you kidding me?
884 people.
884 people to the open house. No, this isn't photoshopped. Yes, the cops were called because Kathy, tell us that story about the cops real quick.
Well, for 2 days, we had a line like that solid for the whole time that we were there. And Menifee police came by, 2 patrol cars actually, and could not believe it was an open house. They thought it was lines at Disneyland or the line at In-N-Out.
Or a potential riot, a Tesla riot.
They were just, well, now, yeah, we won't say that. We won't go there.
Oh my goodness. But my point is, guys, if you're doing it right, the buyers will come. If you're looking to grow your team, the agents are there usually with their buyer agent, not all the time, but there's a lot of lazy agents out there, guys, that are sending their buyers to our open houses. And I got news for you. Don't come to one of my open houses if you want to continue working with that buyer. I'm just telling you. I tell this to agents. Hey, well, I see you're having an open house. Can I just send my buyers? I said, absolutely. One of my professional, fully trained and ready to rock and roll buyer agents would be more than happy to help your buyer. Okay, well, I'll be there with them. That's what I thought. My point is, listings, when you create listings, more listings come, more sellers come. I can't tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a list of 224 buyers agents from that open house.
That's huge. I can't tell you how many times other sellers come to my open houses because they're interviewing me. They're interviewing the agent to see, wait a second, I want this. And they're coming to the open house, number one, to see what the chaos is. And number two, it's because they're considering selling their home. They want to see what the competition looks like and who in the world was responsible for driving this kind of traffic. I want this. I literally have agents or buyers, sellers come to me and they just point and say, I want that. So my point is, you're going to get more listings based on a listing. You're going to get more buyers, obviously, because they're all coming to you. And Kathy has how many 220 something agents in her database?
224.
224.
And I was able to recruit a husband and wife team.
And you know what? And I'm always looking to bring agents onto my team. Let's be very clear, because I don't hold open houses. I have my buyer agents hold open houses where buyers are predominantly at that open house. So I can't do open houses by myself. So I'm always looking for agents that want to grow their business. And this is a great way to grow your organization. So there's a lot of benefits. And at the end of the day, if you take a listing, your phone starts to blow up with investors and you're going to weed out those low ballers, the buy boxes. I need 50% off the sale, that kind of stuff. But you're going to get some real bona fide investors in your database as well. So let's recap. Listings create more listings, more buyers, more investors, and more agents to grow and hold your open houses, if nothing else. So there's a lot to say about more listings. So you pretty much, I know a lot of the buyer agents on this car going, you know what? I think I'm going to cancel working with buyers and go work with sellers. Don't quit your day job. Go out and build your listing portfolio. Don't quit your day job, meaning working with buyers and doing loans like Jen's doing. Don't quit your day job. Just learn a new skill, how to talk to sellers at a high level. Because like I said, your words matter. That's super important. You have the right scripting. You have the right tools. I think if nothing else, you could take from this moment, go to Zillow, go to buy, drop down to for sale by owner, type in your county and have a conversation with every single for sale by owner on Zillow. Just to have a conversation. You don't even need to know what to say. Hi, my name is Natasha. I'm an agent. Tell me about your home. And just don't say anything. Find out why they're selling, how they came to that price. There's certain things you can do right away to start having conversations, but it starts with the conversation. So with that said, I know we've got just a few more minutes. I want to personally thank Coach Kathy Ryan. Her cash offers mastermind is phenomenal. Tuesdays, she put it in the chat box, I think, right, Kathy? And Lawrence, you also, Coach Lawrence has a mastermind that you do. If you want to drop that in the chat box, I'd be more than happy to share that with everybody.
Already done.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And with that said, what questions do we have for myself, for Kathy, for Lawrence? And I appreciate you guys jumping on that. That's the kind of support that we have on our team. Now, don't get me wrong, EXP is a great company, but when you have coaches that you can send your new agents to, so you don't have to, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. If you can tap in and grow your business by tapping into one of the coaches masterminds to grow your business, that's really what it's all about. So with that said, any questions for myself or Kathy or Lawrence before we end this call? And I say this because it's now, speak now or forever hold your peace. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Robert, just to go kind of piggyback off of Kathy was Sarah's question is
Yeah.
a lot of, and this is coming from the sphere of influence, circle of influence from Robert's side. Start joining more groups in Facebook. Start posting more about your knowledge in divorce, dealing with divorce cases with listings, probate listings. Show your value, what you actually provide. Put it on those groups, those probate groups, those divorce groups. Put them on there, and put your videos up there. You'll get some calls. You'll get some messages sent out to you.
Amen. You know what's funny is I wanted to point out. Thanks to Lawrence for putting that in the chat box. Thank you, Kathy, for that as well. I was on the phone with Jen, who's a fantastic lender, by the way. She's phenomenal. And talk about energy. Whew, she's absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait to work with her because when when you work with agents that are just amazing to be around, that's Jen. So Jen, thank you for jumping on the call, and I look forward to doing a lot of really good things with you. So I'm super stoked by that. What's funny is we were on a call and I was showing her the online offers platform. And at 11:30, we had 12 offers. Now we're at 15. And I anticipate exceeding that. And that's a good thing. But where do you see listings? I mean, how many offers are you seeing on listings? So, I mean, that's an indication of kind of how the market is. We were getting 20, 30 plus offers. Now we're getting 10 to 20. That's still pretty good, right? Okay, just checking. So my point is, think about your last open house. How many people did you have at your open house? Did you have 884? Or, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, just it makes my head spin. She blew my doors off. I averaged between about 300 and 500 groups through the doors, which is still phenomenal, and I'm okay with that. But I tell you, 884, that was a pleasure. And that's why I use it in my slides, because that is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. So we've got a few minutes. Actually, we're right at the end of the time. Open it up for any questions, any Q&A. Joyce, always good to see you. I look forward to having a conversation with you and Jen about some of our things we're doing. Super excited. And I don't know if anyone on this call has a transaction coordinator. Of Joyce, if you're taking more clients, I'd love for you to put your information in the chat box. See if we can't get you some TC clients as well. I mean, she's forgotten more about real estate than most people know. So certainly reach out to Joyce on that if she's even accepting new clients. I also want to give. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, keep going.
No, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Stacy Baker, who is absolutely just dominating the listing appointments. And it's a numbers game. And Stacy, I want to make sure we're encouraging you to keep doing the things you need to do. You know what you need to do, and you're doing it. I can't wait to have you on as a guest, because every now and then you run across somebody, and I think Jen's going to be that as well, but you run across somebody that just soaks it up, goes and does it, and makes it happen. That is just makes my heart full. Carla and I talk about it all the time. So Stacy Baker, wanted to give you a quick shout out for doing all the amazing things that you're doing. And Trina, it's good to see you on the call. Everybody on this call, for matter. I appreciate it. So Jen, what did you want to add before we say goodbye today?
Well, thank you so much. I mean, like I said, I've been with EXP. I was that one person that was like, I need to learn everything. I got to be perfect before I go do anything. And so, that's definitely not the case. Joyce has been amazing. My offer, where I'm representing the lender and the buyer, it's a $755,000 purchase. Appraisal came in at 780. Agents don't even know that. I just said it came in as is, and no subject to conditions. So they already got equity built in, but I was the only offer. Wow. I didn't have to compete. It's a probate listing. Joyce has been phenomenal as my TC, for sure. And Robert, your knowledge has been amazing. I should have tapped in 6 months ago. So I'm really excited to be on here. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I've already scheduled a one-on-one meeting with Kathy along with Haley and them. So thank you so much for the information. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And Joyce, thanks for putting your information in the chat box. If you're looking for a TC that knows what they're doing, reach out to Joyce and have a conversation about that. I want to thank the coaches for dropping in their information. I want to thank each and every one of you for caring about your business. Remember, it's all about taking more listings, because if you've ever seen The Field of Dreams, the movie, if you build it, they will come. Go out there and take more listings. Let me know if you guys need anything. I'm always just a phone call, text away. And thanks for jumping on. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Robert.